So now you started a film club at your college. You founded a film club. What do you guys do about as far as equipment and whatnot? Does the school help you purchase equipment to make that stuff happen?
Yeah, they do. And we obviously invest in our own things, considering, it's just easier, accessible to have at all times. Obviously we live a certain life that, we want to document certain things. So, we go out to, we party a lot. We do a whole lot of things that we're just like, we got to capture this in like a serious film setting.
Okay.
But in terms of, we're most of the people that are in the film club are communications majors. Okay. So we have a comm department that basically lets us rent out whatever equipment we want with no charge.
Word.
At any given time, and for 2 days at a time.
Okay.
So if you got a 2-day stretch where you want to get 6 hours of shooting in each day, you get 6 hours of shooting in free of charge for 2 days, and then you just keep renting it out, and it's $0 and 0 cents. So
that's good stuff. Hey. What kind of gear they got for you? Is it really dope stuff? Is it more TV oriented stuff or more film oriented stuff?
It's both. Both. It really just depends on what we're doing at that given time.
Okay.
And they got all the different companies and all the different brands. All the equipment is given to us. So.
That's good stuff.
We can experiment with different things. That's what I like.
Nah, that's really dope, man. That's really dope.
Free access to the editing rooms at all times.
That's important because it's one of the hardest things to do. You got to go so far into this craft to learn how to edit. At least you used to anyway. These days, it's a lot simpler because you have apps on your phone and stuff like that that are actually really intensive. Like if you working with an iPad or an iPhone, you can get LumaFusion. That's a really intensive program that you could work with. What are y'all working with at school?
We work with Final Cut and Premiere Pro.
Okay, all right. See, I'm a Final Cut guy myself. I use a Mac, and that's the software that's most optimized for that particular computer. But I did use Final Cut for a little while. It just wasn't really. Not Final Cut, Premiere Pro. It wasn't optimized for the Mac, so it wasn't really like the best.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and plus you got to pay a monthly fee for it now. Anyway. That's not fun. That's not cool.
We had to do it for a little bit, considering like before we got Final Cut installed and all the softwares and stuff, and on all the computers and our editing rooms and stuff, it wasn't fun at all. So.
That's cool. So for those who don't already know, most of the people that are watching this already know that you are the son of one of my best friends.
Absolutely.
One of my oldest friends, my man Planet from Outer Space. Outer Space has been here on the show before. And you guys are one of my favorite families, man, because y'all all get busy. Like y'all, you and your brothers have really taken on the generational movement, as far as our family, our crew is concerned, and y'all all really nice. But I don't know how y'all started rapping. Like, did y'all all really just be like, yo, I want to be like my pops when I'm a rap?
Obviously, me being the oldest, I adapted it the quickest. Yeah. I know that when we were younger, it was kind of something that they really wanted to avoid. Like, we joke about it now. Yeah. But, like, I know back in the day, like, Jan and Vinny, like, they would be like, yo, make sure your kids, like...
Don't.
But they were dead serious. Wow. They're like, yo, really don't make this about them. And, like, I think when I was younger, I remember I would watch, like, rap videos on TV and stuff, and I was really, really into it. Wow. And my dad would tell me, like, yo, you can like rap music, obviously. You have no choice. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be in your blood no matter what. But he would kind of instill in me really, really young, like, yo, I'm just not sure if this is something that I want you doing, like, whatever. Right. When I was, like, 4, 5, 6,
right.
I had that, like, I loved music really, really young. And that's part of the reason why I know what I know, because when I was 3, I knew Get Rich or Die Trying top to bottom, word for word. Walked around in my white do-rag, my pants sag like I was 50, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it was. But I think I probably wrote my first rhyme like when I was 6, probably. Okay. Around 6 years old. And then, I had my pop read it. I tried to spit it back to him. It was terrible. But, for 6, it probably wasn't terrible, actually.
It was probably nice.
Yeah, it probably was low-key nice for 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I know that he was like, yo, you're talking about, like, actual things. Like, you're 6 years old rapping about, like, actual things. Like, I think one of my first rhymes was about, like, racism and police brutality. Like, I was six.
Right.
Yo, and then he's like, yo, this is like, you're rapping about like there's substance in this.
Right.
So then, I just kept at it, man, for mad years. Then I realized when I was like 12, 13, I'm like, wait a second. No, I'm actually getting like kind of actually really good at this.
Okay.
Like the actual writing of it. I didn't really know how to make songs yet. Like I knew what a chorus was. I knew all of that basic stuff to know, but I wasn't necessarily good at it yet. And obviously I didn't have, the resources in order to make myself sound the best I could.
Right.
But then when I did it, that's when, Mario started, that's when Element started doing it because, he's very open about that. He's just like, yo, I only did it because you did it for at first, but then he grew into actually loving it.
No doubt.
And then that, he actually got into like the technical aspect of it, the making beats, the mixing and all that. And that was something I never adapted clearly because I just don't feel like it. I just feel like I just like the rap.
Y'all are still super young. I was 30. I was like 35 before I started even experimenting with recording myself and so forth. So it's a big task and it's a steep learning curve. So if it's not there for you, it's not there for you.
No, absolutely. And so then obviously the youngest one adapted it to being like, yo, my two older brothers are nice. Right. And he was like, let me see what this is. Let me see what's so fun about it. It's crazy because I used to believe that he wasn't really into rap music, like at all.
Right. I wouldn't assume as much, like from his outward, like from his social media and so forth like that. Yeah. Like I wouldn't think he was all that heavy in the rap music either.
Exactly. Yeah. A few years ago, he was into like some different stuff. He was into
bicycle and skateboard and all that.
Yeah, dubstep, like just real skateboard and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I realized like he had kind of adapted like this hip hop head stuff. Like he's into people like MF Doom and he's into the Odd Futures of the world. So like people that are kind of in the same boat in terms of stylistically and like image. Right. So like kind of like the skateboard and hip hop image for like the real underground stuff kind of.
Right.
He kind of adapted that, and then he got really nice out of nowhere. So we're just like, all right, well, I guess this is our little thing of ours. So
right. That's what's up. Where'd you get your name from? Where the name Kxng Charisma come from? Because that's not your first. That's not your original rap name, is it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I bet I got more rap names than you.
Oh no, you definitely have a rap name. Definitely have a rap name. I only got like 3 or 4.
Nah, dude, I had 3 or 4 by the time I was like 12.
Word. No, it came from, there was an old MC who kind of looked like me. He was Puerto Rican. He was very, very young, and he was nice.
Okay.
And his name was Charisma with a Z. And I remember I was going through a few-year phase where I was just studying hip-hop, like literally everything. Like there's things that I've heard that no one my age can even think about even hearing. Right. Like I was really, really into it. Maybe from like 9 to 12 was my studying phase where I really went through, learning the craft inside and out and really studying all aspects of hip hop that I could. And there was an MC I came across. He died at like 19 years old or whatever. I think he was shot or whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, that's something that, that's crazy. And then I was on freaking Google one day. I'm like, yo, I gotta come up with a better rap name because somebody had stolen my rap name at the time. And then they didn't actually steal it, but I think that there was a DJ named after that.
Okay.
So it was like, yo, man, it's just too basic. It's not worth all that. You might as well just change it into something unique.
Right.
So I was on like a freaking generator one day, like a rap name generator, just being.
That's some new school shit.
But
right
one of the first. And the charisma part also comes from like one of my first battles. Like I went through a phase when I was like 11 to 14, just chopping heads, like in the schoolyard, just things like that. And obviously I was a little more advanced than a lot of people that I was battling, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, and then I remember it was a teacher who was a crazy hip hop head that I had. He was there like for the battle in the school, like in one of the battles in the yard. And he was like, yo man, your energy is crazy. I love your charisma and everything. I'm like, okay, that I can run with that. I can run with that. And then I was just like, I was gonna put Kid at first, like like Kid Cudi, Kid Ink, like people like that. And I was like, nah, that kind of sounds like a freaking superhero. Like Kid Charisma
Kid
don't
Charisma.
really
Marvel presents.
That sounds like a superhero, like the Crimson Chin. So I'm like, So I'm like, nah, I gotta put something cool. And I was like, I could put King instead.
Right.
And then Element approved it, and he was like, yeah, that actually sounds cool.
Right.
And I remember when I was putting out my first mixtape, it used to be with an I. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, he made the artwork for one of my first mixtapes or whatever. He put the font and everything on it. He was like, what you think of this? I was like, you put an X. He's like, yeah, I did that on purpose. And he was like, yeah, but tell me that doesn't look 20,000 times cooler. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're actually kind of right.
So you didn't. All right. So wait, you didn't even choose your X's, because I was saying online last week. I'm trying to figure out how the X's and the V's and shit work. Like, what is the philosophy there?
It's got to be a vowel.
It's got to be a vowel. Is that the rule?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, because if you think about Element's name, it's an X. The last E is an X.
Yeah.
So, and then the I in my name is an X. So
right.
it's I guess that's how it works. We're trying to get Elijah to change his name with an X too, like as the U. But I don't know.
Difficult.
Or as a V or something. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
He being difficult. He won't.
Yeah, I know my friend Summer, who was on a single off of this new album. She's Summer with a V.
Okay.
Like it's not a U, it's a V. So,
all right.
Yes, it's got to be a V. I think that's
speaking of the new album.
Yes.
Heal.
Yes, sir.
I got my advanced copy. Sorry, rest of the world. Uncles.
Yeah, no, he got
uncles
the
get the advanced copy. That just is what it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's really dope. I can't say I'm surprised, but I am impressed. It's a really dope project. It's very well put together. What I was surprised by, not so much surprised, because I know you, and I know you as a person. Nothing on the record surprised me. But what I noticed is from this new generation of rappers, kids in your age range are actually a lot more vocal about things like the effects of trauma and so forth,
right,
on yourself. It's a lot more present in the music than it's ever been before.
No, absolutely.
And I noticed that on this record. I wanted you to speak to that. Why you felt like it was important to put that message out there.
I felt like it was important to put the message out there because, I mean, obviously, you know the adversity that I faced within the last year, from
Absolutely.
Problems with the relationship I'm in to, obviously losing two people within the same hour. My best friend at the time and my grandfather. So, I mean, originally this was going to be an album. Originally the album was actually way longer, and it was dedicated to the life and times of them regardless.
Okay.
But one thing that I wanted to do is I didn't want to make it 15 songs about that in particular. I wanted to still have other content in there that took place in the time before even they passed away.
Okay.
So there's certain you probably heard the songs like Coming Home and Blame 'Em and things like that. Those were things that were happening before they passed that I was struggling with already.
Okay.
And I feel like it was important too because with my first album I did this too. I told certain stories that just happened in my life building up to the project. And I just feel like it's a good pattern that works for me. It's hard for me to explain exactly how important it was, but I definitely felt like it was hard to. It needed to come off my chest in some kind of way. And it's crazy because I tweeted this a few weeks ago. I made an album called Heal, but in reality, I really didn't heal from anything. No, and I'm very open about that. It's called Heal, but I'm not necessarily healed from anything. There's still certain things from that point in time, from maybe, I don't know, early August to November or whatever that time frame may be, that still hurt to this day. That's still very, very much hurt. But at the end, I made the title of the project that in hopes of somebody that might have gone through similar things, healing them, even if it's just one person. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I made the project in hopes of that.
So even though it's not necessarily healing you, it could serve as a part of somebody else's healing process. Yeah,
the project healed me more. It's helping for sure. It helped because without this album, I'd still be a wreck.
Wow.
But getting certain things off my chest and being able to talk about it on record, it's definitely helped.
Wow.
The healing process for sure.
Talk to me about the process of recording it. Where'd you record at? Did you do this at home or did you go to the studio?
I did a lot of it at home, and I did all of it. a lot of it at Cabrini as well.
Okay.
It's crazy because I had access to a studio up there through a hip hop songwriting course I was taking.
Okay.
So one of the professors granted me access, through my ID to the studio rooms or whatever. And Rico Vines actually came through with me for most of those sessions. The hard ones, the ones that were hard to record, the ones that were a little more fun.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy because I actually wrote and recorded probably 30 songs for this album in general. Okay. A lot of them didn't make the cut simply because, they just didn't fit. But, so yeah, maybe half and half was recorded here and there.
Okay.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you took a hip hop writing class.
Hip hop songwriting class, yeah.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. No, here's the thing. It's crazy. It is cheating in the grand scheme. I stole a couple credits.
Yeah, a little bit. I get it. I didn't personally go to college, but I have a lot of friends who did, so I understand that you gotta make it work. But
you gotta get in when you fit in, man.
I'm not gonna let you slide in and out the podcast without calling you on that one, though. Yeah,
no, of course,
a little cheat code there.
No, and it's crazy because like I thought like, oh, this is gonna be dope. I thought maybe there's gonna be other like songwriters and hip hop artists that I can like network with and go through the experience with. And it's crazy because the class was actually very, very underwhelming to me. And I let my professor know this, and it's not really his fault because he's got a curriculum to go by.
Right.
And I let him know that I was like, one thing that I really will say about this class is for me personally, not for everybody, because, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you like there's, a bunch of dope artists in that class. There was. But, like, and it's crazy because, like, the projects we would do, like, for certain assignments, he would play them out loud, and then he'd be like, the composer come forth.
The composer come forth.
Yes. Like, he wouldn't let you know whose song it was first.
Word.
He would let you admit to it after, snitch on yourself after.
That's cold.
So I'm like, yo, man, like, these horrible balls gotta be like, that's mine, dog.
Word. So y'all actually wrote the songs and recorded them and would like play them in class. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, and as you should. I mean, what would be the point of the class? But for me, I just know that it was kind of underwhelming because I wasn't challenged enough.
Yeah.
And I don't even like to toot my own horn like that, but I just feel like it wasn't challenging enough. Like I feel as if it was more of like getting the basics running rather than being experimental.
Yeah, see.
At this point in my life,
trying to use the cheat code and board yourself to death.
I'm trying to experiment. Like if he would have given us assignments about write a song about this or certain topics to write on and things like that, then I would be cool. But he was just like, no, try and do this. Like he was teaching us the structure, like the verses are 16, choruses are, and I'm like, yo, man, I know all that already, dog. I've been taking this class for 20 years.
Word. That's
and it's
crazy.
not his fault, you know what I'm saying? He got a curriculum to go by. It's just me. I'm just like, I wasn't challenged enough in that class. It was almost too easy. Like I used the Name Your Price record as one of my assignments, and he's like, it's mixed beautifully, it's perfect. Everybody was in the class is like, yo, whose is this? And I'm like, this is mine. This is mine. Yeah. Like, like it's almost like boring. Like this, there was. It was just not,
so you did record some of the day. You recorded some at home. Who's some of the artists? Some of the artists that are on the album with you?
I know that I only have 3 features on the record. Only one of them actually kicks a verse, and obviously, it was the Strip For Me single with my friend Summer. Mm-hmm. Element lays a monster hook on a song called Body in the Grave.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, he's died. He's actually right behind me too, as you say that.
He tried to video bomb you. I seen him walk across my page.
No. Yeah. But he laid a monster hook on a song called Body in the Grave, and Rico Vines is on a song called Paranoid, and he lays a spoken word.
Okay.
He lays a spoken. He's a very, very talented poet. That kid is probably the most talented kid I know, man. He dances, he acts, he's a filmmaker, he writes poems.
That's what's up.
He's into fashion. Like he's incredible, man.
Yeah,
like I can't wait for him to take
something's got to stick. Something's got to stick sooner or later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
He's a comedian. Like he's hilarious. Like,
that's what's up.
He's awesome, man. Right. But yeah, he did a spoken word on a song called Paranoid, which is one of my personal favorites off of the album. So yeah, so those are the features. Element did 3 beats on the album.
Right. Who chipped in as far as the production?
As far as production, I had a lot of production from a kid called Kxng. He's from New Zealand.
Okay.
And he's into, he creates like a kind of like a sound that reminds me a lot of kids like XXXTentacion, Trippie Redd, people like that. His sound is just it's very unique in terms of like taking a personal route. It just spoke to me.
Wow.
It was a beautiful sound to me. So I reached out. And he gave me 4 beats. Element did 3 beats. He did the title track called Heal. He did the intro, and he did a song called Scary Movie, which is one of the hardest songs probably I've ever done in my life. And I can't wait to shoot a video for it. And for the Paranoid record, there's a kid named Khan on there who's from Tallahassee.
Word.
Tallahassee. And those are some of the producers that are on this album. I'd have to like run through the track list to understand. Oh no, there's a kid named Timothy Infinite who did the Company song.
Okay.
So those are just a couple that I got.
That's good stuff.
There's a kid named H3 who did a song called Family Feud on there too. He's really good.
Do you make beats at all?
I don't yet, but I'm definitely in the process of trying to learn, because now that I have this album out, I guess I'm making a lot more friends with talent that like to sing and stuff. They're just like, yo, I want to work with you. And I'm just like, I want to be able to provide them with all this time we have in our hands. Yeah. I want to be able to provide them with more than just the ability to rap.
Okay.
I'm like, I want to be able to at least be like, yo, I have this, this instrument at least that, I think you can play with this melody or whatever. Wow. I at least want to get into co-producing first before I get to like, if Element lays a drum down, I can be like, yo, add this piano, add this flute, add this horn, whatever.
No,
at least
you got the resources,
I at least want to start off with little stuff first, to at least feel like I'm, at least learning something. So
that's fair.
Like I have a bunch of female singers who are friends of mine that are just like, I would love to work with you. And I was like, I would love to be able to help you with things other than just having the ability to write for you. I can write songs for other genres. I've been doing it for many years, but I want to be able to produce their records too. So.
That's what's up. Do you remember recording your first record over here?
Yes, I do. It was for the Hobson Funk Volume Challenge.
How did that go anyway?
I mean, obviously I didn't freaking win.
Well,
but
that is that. Not everybody's got the eye for talent that we do, kid. You know what I mean?
No. And it wasn't. Obviously, I didn't even expect to win because I know how those guys were stylistically. I know what they like. They have a certain sound that they just cater to, and that's fine. Obviously we do too, to some degree. Right. So we would prefer certain guys. Like if like I remember RA did a competition a few years ago for his definition of a rap flow joint with Afro, Vinny, Ill Bill. Like they were all judges of that competition, and they all favored the same people. So. I didn't take it personal, obviously. Obviously there was thousands and thousands of submissions.
Right. It's not like a local competition or nothing like that.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So, but in terms of, I definitely felt like it was a step in the right direction. In terms of getting my feet wet, getting comfortable recording, getting comfortable doing videos. This was my first music video.
Okay.
So
now you just dropped you dropped like a sneak peek video, last week, right?
A few days ago, I dropped basically the official trailer to this album just to spice things up.
Okay. What's gonna be the next video you drop off the album?
It comes out the day of the album. Okay. Friday the album comes out, and May 15th, and at Friday afternoon the video will be out with it. Okay. The album will be there at midnight, and then the video will be out at around 2 p.m., probably 3 p.m. Okay. So what kind of distribution we doing? We doing all streaming media? Yes, sir.
Okay.
Obviously, I've had the physicals available for people that wanted to show the support. I basically am putting all of that money towards other merchandise like shirts, hats, hoodies, things like that. So, that's where all that money's going to, and that's why actually people have been buying, because they're like, oh, it's going towards something. Yeah. So, towards something that you can actually utilize. Right. Because people might not buy music like that no more, but they definitely buy merchandise.
Yeah, they do. I'm a streamer myself. I rarely actually buy an album, but I do pay for the ability to stream music and so forth. But it is a lot easier to get people to support merch and stuff these days. People want to get dressed.
Absolutely. And people, I actually had to order another batch because people running through these joints. Right. So I got to order more just so I can ship them out.
That's good.
So yeah, and I literally before I sat down with you, I shipped my first set of orders out today.
That's good
I went
stuff.
to the post office and I shipped them out. So
that's what's up.
And people are buying them, so it's awesome. But yeah, every digital platform,
Easy, Spotify, your iTunes, your Google Play, we're gonna be okay. Cool.
Everything.
That's what's up. That's good stuff, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The album's really dope. I really am impressed. I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the videos. I don't know who's gonna direct your videos. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you have somebody dope direct your videos. I mean, no big deal. I mean, I got plenty to do. I'm not bored or nothing like that. So you know. But if you decide you want to,
you've admitted to us not needing you.
I really have.
You're like, yo, what the hell do y'all need me for?
No, I really have. I've always been impressed with the work you guys put together. Y'all pick things up very quickly, and you put out very well thought out product. Everything from the mixes in your music to the quality of the videos that y'all have put together, the writing that y'all do. Y'all come up with dope concepts. It's never just like, well, point the camera at me and let me do this. It's never that. You know what I mean?
No, and that's one thing we're big on, especially in terms of videos. Like, I know that one thing, like the video I drop on Friday, like spoiler alert, it's more of just like, it's to the intro of the album, so there's really not much to it other than me just rapping. But usually I don't like to do those because I feel as if it's easy to do that. You know, it's easy to do just videos of me just rapping on camera. Like that's not really a challenge. I like to be creative, especially because a lot of my music is storytelling anyway. And even if it's not storytelling, it's music that takes me back to a certain point in time when I was feeling a certain way. So, like, for example, the "I'll Kill You" video, I had the whole scene with a friend of mine in the beginning. That was the actual real encounter that I've had in my life. Like those exact conversations in the scene before the song begins in the video are things that I've actually endured in. So. And then the Bad Guy video, obviously, that had a story to it, So I like to have stories in my videos simply because it forces me to challenge myself and get creative a little bit.
Which is absolutely key, yeah.
It's easy to just get on camera and rap.
Right.
Like, it's easy to do that.
That's good stuff, man. Nah, man. I thank you for taking the time, man, for getting with me.
No, of course.
So everybody check out the album when it drops. It's called Heal. It's going to be available on every streaming media on Friday. The video will be out on Friday. My young boy Kxng Charisma, thank you very much, bro. This was dope. Thank y'all for checking out the podcast, for tuning in. I know it's been a while. I miss y'all too. All right, but so I'll check y'all out on the next one. Tell Element he next.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let him know he next. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. So whatever you do good first, all right?
Yes, sir.
Peace.